I think at University of Kentucky, we have very strong interest in Brazil. We are interested in set a, we call a double degree or joint degree program.
Olá pessoal, bem-vindos a mais um episódio do UCS Play Podcast, o podcast com pessoas que entendem do assunto. E hoje nós temos um convidado especial, uma pessoa que veio do outro lado do mundo para conversar conosco. Ele está aqui por meio do Education USA, que é um programa que nós temos aqui, um escritório, que está na UCS desde 2019, com a coordenação da professora Sabrina Vandanelli. E o Education USA oferece orientação sobre o ensino superior nos Estados Unidos e trabalha com a tradução certificada de documentos. Serve também como uma ponte de contato com as universidades dos Estados Unidos e foi através da feira virtual do Education USA que iniciou um contato com a Universidade de Kentucky, que é da onde vem o nosso convidado. O nosso convidado de hoje é o Dr. Yuming Zhang. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, welcome to our podcast, welcome to our country. And I guess we can start by, you can tell us and our audience what the purpose of your visit here, what brings you to Brazil and to our university.
The basic purpose for me to visit UCS is to see how we can develop collaboration in research, education. So in this way, we can work together to better educate our students and provide the opportunities to our faculty to collaborate, to conduct world-class research, and for our students to receive world-class education. So what we're interested in here is to see first bring our faculty and one by one, we're going to match some of your faculty here to university faculty and let them know each other and visit each other, and also send their students to visit each other's lab, and students and faculty participate in their counterparts' research activities.
And that's very interesting. So it will be able for our students to go there and actually to have a degree from there. If they are UCS students, they can have this double degree, something like that?
Yes, that is one of the major purpose here. We already have previous discussion between two universities. So we are interested in set a, we call a double degree or joint degree program. Okay. So the idea is the students here in UCS can start here for 4 years, and after that they go to University of Kentucky for 1 year, or they studied here for 3 years and go to University of Kentucky for 2 years.
Okay.
For 2 years. So in this way, they can finish totally still 5 years program. But if they stay there in the University of Kentucky for 2 years, they may also possible get a degree from the University of Kentucky. If they stay University of Kentucky for 1 year, they may not be able to get a degree, but they will take courses 1 year at the University of Kentucky. Later, if they get a chance, they can go back to take other year of the coursework to finish the degree. So this is originally we have had in mind for we call double BS, Bachelor's of Science degree. And also we discussed with a College of Engineers here, and it appears our faculty, they are also interested in the possibility to see if our students can here stay 4 years and go to University of Kentucky for 2 years or 3 years. When they're in the University of Kentucky, they can take a 1 year coursework. So this 1 year coursework will transfer back to fulfill the requirement for bachelor's degree here. But in the meantime, those coursework will be qualified for our master's program coursework. So in this way, in 5 years, they can finish all the coursework. First 4 years in Brazil, and then 1 year at the University of Kentucky. After that, they can spend 1 year or 2 years conduct research. They can receive a master's degree in engineering.
Wow. That's a great opportunity for the students.
One thing I want to mention is in this way, they can minimum time they will pay tuition is just the 5th year, but that's also pay for master degree. So they pay 1 year tuition, they can receive a master degree.
Wow. I wish they had this opportunity when I was a student. It's very
absolutely,
good.
yes. So that means we should study the exploration of our collaboration earlier.
Yes.
So we hate it. We already we are doing this a bit later, but it's still better than we have not studied.
It's better than not at all. So
Yeah.
it's a really good partnership. And how did this started? How do you guys get contact with us?
I think at University of Kentucky we have very strong interest in Brazil, and our international center, which is the center office for internationalization. I work for the College of Engineering, represents the College of Engineering, but the entire university we have internationalization as a major focus. So we have a big international center. So our international center get connected with Education USA. So we operate through Education USA.
Okay, so and when did you start? Was this year the first contact?
I think we just started first contact probably just very recently in 3 months. We just got started.
But you've been in Brazil before.
When I first time will be Brazil, I was not in the position of my current position, director of international partnerships.
Okay.
I was professor, and now I have this position for the college. So I have my 20% of the effort for the directorship, and the other 80% for regular research and teaching. So I want to mention the opportunity in additional to degree programs, like we have a double bachelor's degree, or we have BS from UCS and master degree from University of Kentucky. In addition to the degree program, we also welcome Brazilian students, doctoral students, when they are doing their research, they visit the University of Kentucky. My understanding is Brazilian government provides funding to support the Brazilian doctoral students to go abroad to conduct research. But I believe, I did not do investigation, I believe government funding should be limited. They can't support every student who wants to go there, right? So my idea is we want to talk to our faculty, our professors at the University of Kentucky. We say, okay, who would be willing to host Brazilian visiting students?
Yes.
So that one will be also very good for us.
We had this scholarship, I don't know how it's now, but when I was a doctorate student, we have a program that was called doctorate sandwich, something like that. So part was here and part abroad.
Yeah.
And it was financed by the government.
Yeah.
So we just have to find a university and find a professor there that it correlate with our research.
Yes.
And he or she could be able to orientate our students to go there. So I don't know how it's now. A lot of things change.
I think it is still the case from what I heard.
Okay.
I may be wrong, and we can check on that. But this one probably no longer matter for us. The reason is because we are willing to provide this part of the funding by our professors, of course, on behalf of Brazilian government. So we're willing to provide that. I think this one will provide unusual benefits because your students are likely from our collaborating professors. They already have the training needed to conduct research at the University of Kentucky. So when you go to University of Kentucky, you already have the needed skills. We believe the visiting research, like 2 years or 3 years, would be very productive.
Well, of course.
Yeah, and also when we publish papers, I expect will be joint authorship between University of Kentucky and Brazilian universities.
Yes. Wow, that's a really, really nice program.
But one thing I want to mention is the opportunity. When we talk about opportunity, we already mentioned a possible dual double BS degree and BS degree in UCS and master degree at the University of Kentucky. So this is the second opportunity. The third opportunity I just mentioned is visiting PhD students. University of Kentucky will fully fund that. The last major opportunity I want to mention that is more exciting. We are interested in having your students who just graduated from undergraduate degree.
Wow.
If they want to go to University of Kentucky, and we are going to help them to apply. We have a simplified form.
Okay.
We expect that our collaborating professors can help us to distribute the story, and also Education USA. To have our students who wants to go to study in US, but their parents do not have the funding to support them. So for them, when they go there, we are going to select them, and for selected students, we will pay tuition for them. So we understand the U.S. tuition at the University of Kentucky. We're not the most expensive for us, but we are in the middle range. So our tuition is $32,000 per year. So what if those students selected, we must pay for this student, and also we will pay student stipend. So stipend should be around from $25,000 to $30,000 per year. At this moment, is of course in the future is going to increase. So I've been asked how much money is this? Would it be sufficient? Yes, $25,000 per year would be sufficient to support one small family.
Yes.
A couple, for example, the student is doctor student is a woman, is going to support a husband, the living, and also they have one kid, they can also support that. But if you there in the U.S., if they have a kid, they attend public school, there's no tuition, and also lunch included.
Wow. Wow. It's an incredible opportunity. And it's just for the engineer courses, or you guys have more, this partnership is going to open for different areas? At
this time, we are exploring for College of Engineering. But I think the way we discussed and we are going to explore, and if they work well, that can be very easy, I think, extended to other areas. We have professors in math, science, and physics, and chemistry. They are also very well funded. And also they are, for them, their graduate students, they will be funded through teaching assistantship. Teaching assistantship from the department, they do not rely on research grant. So I think it will be even easier.
And which types of engineer that are in the program now?
We almost have all kinds of engineering programs.
Okay.
So we are all interested in this. So for example, we have chemical engineering, material science and engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, aerospace, biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, so computer science and mining engineering. So we have all kinds of engineering programs. We also have agriculture engineering. We call biosystems engineer.
And in which city is the university?
University of Kentucky is located in Lexington, Kentucky. So Lexington is located in the central Kentucky. The area surrounding Lexington is called bluegrass. Very beautiful because our grass in the spring, they have some blue flower color, very beautiful. So very beautiful area, and we are actually the world capital of the horses.
Really?
Yes. So we talk about your vice rector. Actually lived in Kentucky for 1 year. I heard that. He actually attended Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Derby is in another city in Kentucky, Louisville. That's the biggest city in Kentucky. Lexington is the second biggest city.
How many?
So our population is 300,000 people.
Okay.
In the U.S., we are ranked probably within 100.
Yeah.
Of course, in Brazil, probably, I don't know. But in China, this is a small city.
Yeah,
but
small
in
city.
U.S., we are okay. We have airport.
Uh-huh.
We have airport, a major airport. If I fly here, I believe I fly St. Paul, I only need one stop. Okay.
Right.
I fly to any major city in the world, I just need one stop.
That's a good way to travel, not many
Yes,
connections.
yes. Of course, yes, yes.
Yeah, and here in Brazil, I would say that it's a medium to a big city.
One thing I want to mention is, I don't want to interrupt you.
No problem.
So election, because we are talking about here, we're talking in potential students, right? Also visiting scholar. They were concerned. We heard a lot of gunshots in the U.S. So actually, I've lived in the U.S. for 31 years. I never heard one.
All right.
Yes. So this trip of my visit, I also visited San Diego, Chile.
Okay.
I heard a gunshot. Maybe it wasn't a gunshot, but I don't know what is a gunshot. I thought it's gunshot. So I have a lot of heard a gunshot. So so one thing I want to say probably, Lexington is the number 3, the safest city in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kentucky, I don't remember if more in the middle of the country.
Kentucky is in the middle of U.S., but when we talk about time zone, is in the east. In the east, so we can call we're in the east part of the country, but sometimes we always think the east part of the country is the richer.
Yes.
So we don't want to say we're rich. Okay, we don't want to let the rich people say we want to join their club. So we are in the east time zone.
Okay, I don't remember if it's more in the north or actually.
We are in the edge of the north and the south.
Okay.
So in our northern state is Illinois and Ohio.
So probably
our southern will be Tennessee.
Okay. So probably it gets a bit cold there during the winter, right?
During the winter, not very cold.
Not
very cold. So we may go, maybe for Brazilian would feel cold. So the coldest temperature in the normally during the night. During night probably could be below like 15 below 0 Celsius, but very rare.
Okay.
Normally we would be just a few degrees in the night below 0, and so in the daytime would be a few degrees.
Okay.
So
not that bad.
because we're a lot of humid, so we're okay. We're pretty.
Okay. If you compare with the rest of Brazil, here we are actually in one of the regions that it gets colder than anywhere in the country. Here,
I heard
here and a little bit in the north, in the next state, because we are high in the hills and because we're very south for Brazil.
So that's where we say in the very north, atmosphere. Yeah.
We even get snow sometimes here now. So
we have snow.
Yeah.
Kentucky, we have snow. Normally we have at least 1 or 2 times of snow. Sometimes we could get big snow.
Oh, no. It's not like that here. I mean, maybe one day for one night for in each 5 years or 6 years.
So
but it's cold. It's cold for, if you compare, it's not the Brazil that people have in mind when they think about Brazil. It's not this region.
So this is similar as my hometown. I'm from a city called Lanchong in Sichuan province. So in my memory, the coldest temperature we may have is 0 approximately. But each a few years, we may have some snow. But snow is just maybe accumulation is 1 or 2 millimeter.
Nothing like Canada, for example.
Kentucky, at one time, I remember we have snow is probably 2 feet.
Okay.
Very more than a half a meter.
And how long do you live in Kentucky or in USA?
I've lived in Lexington, Kentucky for 31 years.
31.
So Lexington, Kentucky is my first stop in the U.S.
Before that, you were you live in China?
I live in China. Before I went to college, I have lived in Sichuan. Before I went to college, and I went to college in the Manchuria area.
Okay.
Harbin, have you heard of this city? It's very close to Russia.
That's very north of
very
China.
cold.
And you went to the United States to study, or you already were a professor? when you moved?
So actually, I finished all my degrees from China. I finished all my degree, bachelor's, master's, and a doctoral degree from Harbin Institute of Technology,
Okay.
which is a major research engineering research school. So I just came U.S. as postdoc.
Okay.
Yeah, but later I found an opportunity to become a professor.
Okay. Okay. So you went to do your postdoc there, and
Yeah.
wow, that's good. And probably was very cultural shock for you,
Yeah.
because you were already an adult when you went there. So, I mean, probably some things were very different from. Okay, can you give one example of things that one cultural shock that you faced?
So yes, you say culture shock. I don't think I have that much culture shock because we are alone.
Okay.
We're alone U.S. The only thing we feel is first when I just got in U.S., I strongly feel everybody could look at me because I'm foreigner. But now I don't think that way.
Okay.
I don't think I thought, okay, this is my home.
Okay.
So when I just go there, I remember my my academic brother. He was in U.S. already. Originally, I was supposed to fly from Beijing to Chicago.
Okay.
And Chicago to Lexington. My academic brother, he was there already. He worked already. So he actually, no. I'm going to drive you from Chicago to his house in Indiana and stay the weekend and drove me to Lexington, Kentucky. When he drove me in Kentucky and we were stopping in a gasoline station, he was filling gas. I stand there and feel, everybody probably is looking at me.
No, the reason why I ask, because I had the opportunity to live abroad a little bit, but I remember the first thing that always, I would not say, I don't know if it's a cultural shock, but it always happened. It's the food. The food is the first thing that, okay, I'm in really a different place.
Yeah.
And, of course, the weather. So that's because we are talking about this program, how the students can go there. And those are some things that they're going to face it. They're going to be in a different place with different culture, with different values.
Yes.
I have the Brazilian perspective, how is to live abroad.
Okay.
But I imagine how is the Chinese perspective.
Yeah. Some people, they may have that. For me, actually, like food, I cook myself. When I cook myself, the only thing I feel is just lonely. I miss I did feel I'm missing my family, but actually you would feel, you are not the same. So in the beginning, it is feel a little bit lonely. And I had a roommate. This gentleman, he's a graduate student, so he's very busy. So I was a visiting scholar. I just stayed in home. At that time, we don't talk about working from home, but I'm working on my research from home at the time because I do theoretical study at that time. So cooking the food, and we take turn. We shop together with my roommate. We cook. So that's I think we had a very good life. And in the weekend, we have a number of Chinese friends. In particular, we had someone who was a graduate student that has been at the University of Kentucky for several years.
Okay.
He originally from Harbin Institute of Technology.
Okay.
So over the weekend, we invited him to our apartment to have gathering that can help me to overcome the loneliness. But one thing, of course, is the language.
Okay.
I can feel people, they feel I speak poor English.
How was your English before you
I don't speak much English.
You didn't speak before you go?
No,
Whoa.
I didn't speak much. I can read.
Before you went, okay.
I can read.
So Mandarin to English probably
Yes.
is
So
something insane.
of course, because I was not a student. For student, you have to take an exam.
Yes.
So you have to get prepared. For me, I was not prepared. So I just took English classes, and that from the regular curriculum in the university. We do not emphasize on English, but I believe I can read English. I can read. Of course, may not be very good in comparison with now. It's not very good, but I can. That should not be a big issue. The big issue is understanding and other people understood you.
The listening it was something hard.
That was hard. So we would feel, sometimes you may feel a little bit discouraged.
Okay.
But the thing is, when I just arrived in U.S., I always thought I will go back.
Okay.
So you never know. However, the opportunity is there. So once the opportunity is there, so we stayed.
You said that you read English before you go, and I mean, you guys in China actually don't know that. If you use Western letters to write, do you have both alphabet there, or you have to, when you learn how to read in English, you have to learn how basically to read again to understand each letter?
We have to know how to read again. So for us, our character is a square.
Yeah.
Okay. Is how to say, this one is just using the shape.
Yes.
We read our written language is two-dimensional. Okay, but English like Latin, okay, they are one-dimensional.
Yes.
So you have one word, right, form two-dimensional. So for us, each word is two-dimensional. So we can read.
I cannot imagine how it is to learn things like that. Well, I can imagine if I try to learn Chinese, because probably it's harder.
Yeah. Yes. So. We actually, learning English, of course, was hard to us. So when I in middle school, in China, we have elementary, middle school, and high school.
Okay.
So in middle school, we started learn English, but we can't remember. We didn't try to remember. For example, we say some English word we can't remember. We just use similar sound of Chinese. We write it there. But not accurate, of course.
Yes.
So we learned probably just 1 year, and but if you do not try to remember, you will not learn English well. So actually, I started learning English when I was in college.
Okay.
In college, every morning we try to remember vocabularies.
So now you live 31 years in USA. Probably you are something in the middle. English, it's something that you speak, is a language that you speak every day. But you have this Chinese, this Mandarin background. I'm asking basically because I have a similar situation in my family where my sister, she has trouble with both languages.
Okay.
And I imagine that's probably same thing with you. And sometimes a word comes in English, and if you try to speak in Mandarin or vice versa.
No, if we communicate with Chinese, we have a checklist.
Okay.
So we mix the English and Chinese together.
Okay.
For English-speaking people the Chinese who are in U.S.
Okay.
When we talk to Chinese, and we may, for example, when I talk to my wife, we speak almost pure Chinese.
Okay.
Sometimes we may have some English words because we do not have very good translation.
Okay.
So, most of the time we speak Czechish. Okay. If we speak to Chinese, of course we talk purely Chinese. We have no problem. We talk English and we speak English. That's have smoothness transition. It's not very easy. For example, when I in this way, I found very often restaurant waiters and drivers, they don't speak English, and so I use Portuguese to English and English to Spanish translated. But that's not smoothness, right?
Yes. So how Portuguese sounds for you?
Oh, sounds good, but I feel I understand 100%, but actually zero.
When you've been in Brazil before, how long did you stay here?
I think it's probably 5 days. I don't remember.
Days.
Yeah,
okay.
5 days.
And this time you've been visiting our university since when? You were in Brazil before, or you came especially for this visit?
Oh, this time actually especially for this business visit. Yeah. So last time I was there for attending conference.
Okay.
This time I'm here for collaboration.
4 days.
Yeah. Yes.
So you don't have, you didn't learn Portuguese yet.
Okay. So I think traveling in South America is good. It's better than travel to Asia and Europe because you don't have the jet lag.
Yeah. Yes.
This is something advantage.
Yeah. Well, probably I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 hours.
Oh,
behind.
that's nothing for me at least.
If you go to China, it's like a whole day behind or ahead. But the reason why I ask about Portuguese is because everybody thinks that the whole Latin America speaks Spanish.
That's right, yeah.
For us, we're always curious how when somebody from a different country visit here and hear Portuguese and hear that it's a different language, and Brazil is very unique if you compare with the rest of Latin
America. If someone understand a little bit Spanish, they would feel. But for me, my Spanish is 0. So actually, I know you speak Portuguese.
Okay.
However, when I arrived in Brazil, I still use from English to Spanish translation. I forgot about that. Okay, I forgot that when I, for example, in my cell phone, I type, I speak English when I say I want to go to bus stop, and they're going to translate. I can also press to not speak out. I not speak to somebody else. They probably say I try to. I say why they did not understand right away clearly. Later I realized in the okay.
Portuguese, not
Portuguese,
Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very common mistake. Don't worry.
No, I know that you speak Portuguese.
Yeah. No,
but I believe that there's no much difference.
Yeah, it's very, very similar. I mean, especially if you read, because the pronunciation of the words is different. So if somebody speaks Spanish with us, especially if they're speaking fast, then we are not going to understand each other. But if they speak slowly, or if it's just written, we can basically understand everything. It's very similar. It's similar but different. I think it's the two languages that are most like, I don't want to say the whole world, but one of the languages that are more similar in all the languages that are out there.
Of course, you say Portugal and Spain was actually just the entire country is Spain, right? Go back 500 years ago.
Yeah,
I believe Portuguese and Spanish, they are much closer than Chinese local dialects.
No, of course.
They're much closer.
I think too. Yeah.
Well, we do not understand it. Yeah. But of course, now we speak Mandarin, we understand.
Yeah. So, how do you think about Brazil? What do you like? I know it's just 4 days, but probably you already have an impression.
Yeah. Oh, I like Brazil. I like the food. I think the people, they are very warm, and I can feel the hospitality. The food is very good, and of course, I feel now US dollar is strong. That's like us. So in this way, yes, we should come back to Brazil to travel more.
Yeah. No, I hope this partnership, we can go ahead with that. And I hope that's just the first of many visits. And unfortunately, you have a flight to get, I know. So this episode is going to be a little shorter. So I want to thank you, Dr. Zhang, to come here. I think that's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm very thankful that both of our university have this open mind and can see, can create this program. And like I said, I wish this type of program was something when I was a student. But nevertheless, it's a really good thing that it's happening now. So I really would like to thank you for it. Take the time to come here to Brazil and to come to our podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. And I believe we are going to develop some strong programs, collaboration. And I look forward to come back to your station.
Yeah, if you come back here, let's do another program.
Yes.
And I hope with some students maybe.
Oh, yes, yes.
That would be very great.
Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Professor.
Thank you. Ok, pessoal, esse é o episódio de hoje, né, com o Dr. Zhang. E semana que vem nós temos mais um episódio. Não esqueça de se inscrever no nosso canal. E como vocês sabem, toda semana um episódio com pessoas que entendem do assunto. Até mais, até a próxima.